Hi, Nick Collier here, and this is my shop. Come join me. We'll have some fun. Okay, so up until this moment, we have been doing little segments of what we were attempting to do. And, I had to make 6 of them, so I've made 3 so far. So now I kind of have the process down pat. So we're going to run you through the entire process as a single unit, probably fast forward it, and then, stick around. Hey, we're going to have some fun. All right, next thing we're going to do is face off both ends so we can get this in the lathe and hang on to it properly. Okay, so now we drill a hole, most of the way through this, and then ream it. Okay, we've got our hole drilled most of the way through. Now we're going to run the reamer in, maybe 3/4 of an inch. Okay, that'll give us a straight line to work with. Now we'll take this out and we're going to take it over to the lathe and put our pin in. All right. We are back at the lathe. We're going to wipe the oil off of this thing. And I believe it's going to go this way. Yes. Oh, let's put the pin in first. It should just slide right in fairly snug. Let's give it a little tap or two just to make sure. Set that in. Bring this back. Bring it down where it should be. And we're going to put a little chip of aluminum in this part right here because we're going to save that finish. Well, not totally save it, but we definitely don't want to mar it up real bad. Okay, it's off by just a little bit, right? All right, looks good. We've got a 0 here, and we're fairly 0 out here. All right. Oh, let's make sure we're tight everywhere. Yep, pretty good. All right, now we're going to get rid of the pin. And we've got a center hole. We're going to come in with a 1/2 inch drill bit. Okay, we got our thread started. Looks like we got a decent start going, I'm thinking. So, back this up. We're going to put a center back in. We're going to get our left hand tap. And to make sure that we're going to go in there straight, we will connect it in. And you probably can't see this, but I'm setting the center at the tail of the tap. There it is. And then bringing the tap in, and that way we know that we're centered. And just take it in a couple of turns. Normally you don't put cutting oil in with brass because brass is soft, but this stuff is tough as nails. 510 bronze. And I've tried several different lubricants, and it seems like the standard cutting oil works the best. So we're going with it. Okay, well, it's fixture time again. We're going to take this piece of aluminum and turn it down so that it just barely fits into that hole, not with threads, so that it slides in, and I have a good connection with that. And then we're going to turn down the small end of it to this size so that it'll fit in the counter bore. So we've got a good alignment with the interior of that hole. So, and I think that's going to be fine as far as that's concerned. But we need to figure out the size. I think it's 1 inch. Nope, it's more like 780. And we are sitting at 8, almost 70. So we got about 80 thousandths. So we're sitting at 835 at the moment, and we need to go down to 790. So we need 45 thousandths. 10, 20, 30. Okay, there we are. Fairly snug. Just enough to make sure that we're going straight. All right, so let's flip this around. Nice. Okay. Take it out. And we will be back. So we're going to take our piece and loosen it, and then bring it up into the holder. Then bring this down, and first let's get all the chips out of the way. Let's see, what are we doing? Let's spin this around. That's good. Now bring it over and down. Okay, now we're sitting on, the aluminum's touching the vise. We'll slide this down to the vise, bring it back, bring the table back until this stops wiggling. There we go. Tighten the vise up. Bring that back up. Bring this down. It's quite complicated, but I think we're going to be okay. So now we know this hole is square with the world. Let's take our center, or our, oops, first we got to take that collet out. Put this collet in. Okay. Tighten it up. And I personally don't think we're going to need that alignment tool, because we already have it and the mill is pretty solid. So we're just going to go bring it in. First we're going to touch. Let's get this around to there. Touch. Put it on 0. Now. All right, I'd say that looks pretty good. A little bit of burr right there. Other than that, I think we're fine. And there's our original. It goes down at least 150. It goes down until it cleans up those outer rims. And it looks like we've done that. So I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so now we take this back out. Yeah, that looks good. We are done. Well, a little bit of cleanup, but so little. And that looks pretty good on both sides. Okay, we got 5 more to do, and we'll come back and celebrate. Maybe we'll have ourselves a beer. Okay, we're back. We're still at it. I've done 3 of these, and I have 3 more to do, so I've kind of got a little bit of practice in, and I'm going to walk you through the process here. And you can kind of see that we've got pretty much machined. This is pretty much all he wants me to do. He's going to come in and do the back side here. What I have left after this part is to drill a hole, well, actually drill a hole through here all the way to the end here, and then drill a cross hole, which is, you know, the oiler or greaser. So I'm going to walk you through the process of how I got there and how I squared up this hole with this shaft or this plug. You know, how do you get it to square up? Oh, I don't know. I kind of worked about it and thought about it and had a nightmare about it and dreamed about it, and then boom, it came to me all at one time, and it's like, pow, okay, I got it. So it's going to take a couple extra steps and a very complicated approach, but hey, we got there. I hope, at least I hope. So follow along. Here we go. First thing we need to do is get something that's going to have a shaft coming straight out of here, and the only thing I could think of was the actual tap itself. So let's run the tap in, and lucky for me, unlike most taps, this Acme tap, although it's loose right here at this bottom part, as it gets up to the top part, it gets extremely tight, which means that I've got a fairly accurate shaft that's going straight through the hole. So let's go ahead and work our way down. Okay, this is where it starts to get tight. Now get it down so that there's no more cutter threads showing, and it is tight. I can almost not turn it. Alright, so now let's take it over to the mill and see where we're going to go with that. Okay, so knowing that our shaft is straight, I mean going straight through the center of that hole, let's make sure that we've got a nice clean surface that we're working with. Yep. We're going to bring this in and snug it up. So I just barely snugged it. I came in and squared this inside edge up of this angle plate, and now it's kind of loose. Come on. No, there we go. Okay, you can see now I've got that right up against the angle plate. Now, what we have to do is make sure we're square again, and see how it moved just a little bit. Okay, so, and again, I'm not super tight yet because I still have some more adjustment to do. We're gonna come in, and this part we're just gonna eyeball. A stack of parallels we want to put there. We're going to get our square a little bit bigger one. We're going to bring our square in right here. Let's bring this down just a little bit. There we go. And as I said, this part we're eyeballing. Let's take a spacer out. There we go. And I need my cheater glasses. Okay, so now we come in and we just have a look. It looks like it's just a little bit off. Nope, not quite. Come on. I'm thinking it looks pretty damn good. All right, we're gonna go with that. One more time, I want to make sure we haven't dropped. Yep, in fact we did just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm pushing down on this. This squares this shaft up with the vise this way and this way, and the vise is totally square with the world. So now we slide this up against it. Come in with our clamp. I know this is super complicated, but it is the way that it's going to happen. Now I can see that it's off just a little bit. Here there's a gap, and at the bottom there's no gap, so I'm going to put my clamp on the bottom so that it doesn't tweak it over, and I'm just going to barely tighten the clamp. Just enough to make sure that this is angled right. Then we're going to come in and snug down these bolts. Again, just slightly. And then we're going to tighten up the vise. We can really crank down on that now. tighten the C-clamp up just a little bit more. I'm going to loosen this just to make sure, and now go ahead and tighten it up. Okay, we got a good tight fit in there. Go ahead and snug this down a little bit better. Good. Now we're going to take this bit out. Put this smaller bit in. Wipe off my collet. Okay.